Hello, I just wanted to share this tip with how to set up your camera in Maya to autofocus so that if you're moving your camera around or your camera is animating around your scene, you can have it pinpointed to always be focused on a certain point of your object. So there's a way that might be useful if you've got quite a busy scene that I'll show you quickly, just to find out in a very easy way how far this object is away from your camera. And then there's another way using the distance measure that we can hook up to the camera's depth of field that I'll show you how to go into afterwards. So to begin with, I'm just going to have a look through my camera by going to panels, perspective and just camera 1 because I'm not labelled it. Now here what we want to do is try and work out, so how far away is this from my camera? And if we go up to display, heads up display, and then we go to object details, as soon as we click on that, you can see that the distance from camera is calculated. And this is quite useful if you've got a scene that's quite populated and maybe you're not really just wanting to change the focus just with the one object. So say you had lots of things in the background and a few things in the foreground, you know that this is the one you want to focus on, so you can just go in and see the distance from camera and then go into your camera and just manually kind of input in the focus distance. And this might be different if you're using like Arnold or Redshift, it'll be down there that you'll be putting that in. Now that's great if you've got a scene like that, and because this calculates from kind of the center of the object. Now this doesn't really help if we're actually really wanting to focus like say on this point of our object and have everything else kind of in the background a bit. So what we'd want to do with that is set up work out exactly what the distance is for this specific point. So if I come out of my perspective mode and just have a look at my camera, what we want to do is create a distance measure, and we do this by going to Create, Measure Tools and Distance Tool. If we go up here to the snapping tools, we want to click Snap to Points, and once we do that, if we just click near our camera, it'll automatically snap into the right place, and then we can snap to a point on our model as well, and that will snap to one of the points on the model. And then just make sure that you turn this off again, because if you forget and you start clicking and moving things, it can mess your scene up pretty quickly. Zoom into the camera, and we want to click on the camera and then the locator, and then make sure you're in your rigging workspace, and then go up to Constrain and Parent. This means that when we start moving our camera around, it is now attached to the locator of this distance tool. So if this starts animating around or we start moving it, it's automatically calculating the distance for us, which is very useful. And this might be enough for you if you're just trying to work out exactly what a specific distance is. But if you're coming to animate this, there's a much easier way to always know that what you want to be in focus is in focus. So to do this, what we want to do is actually open up the connections editor. So we want to go to Windows, General, and then down to Connection Editor. And in the Connection Editor, what we want to do is click on our distance dimension 1, make sure you're on the distance dimension shape up here, and then click Select and click Reload Left on the left column here, and then that will load up all the right properties for there. And then same with the camera, click on camera, make sure you're on the camera shape. If you just automatically click and load that up, then it's not going to be it won't be the right properties that are coming up for you. So make sure you're doing camera shape, and then click select and then reload right. Now on the left column in the distance, we want to select distance, and we want to hook this up to our focus distance, which is here. Now, as soon as we do that, you can see that if we move this, if we keep an eye on this number here, that is automatically updating. So we know that no matter where we put this camera, this part will always be in focus because it calculates it for you. Now, if you're using Arnold, it's a slightly different way to go around this. So as you know, if you're setting up your Arnold's camera, underneath your Arnold tab, you have your focus distance and everything is down here. Now I use Redshift, so with Redshift it takes the focus distance from up here, so that works fine for me. But with Arnold, you need to hook up to another part. So in this very long list, you'll need to come down to all your Arnold's attributes here, so all of the AI things. And if we just have a little look through here for a minute, we should be able to find the AI focus distance. Let's have a look. Make sure you've selected the right thing. I'm selecting my distance, and then I'm attaching that to my focus distance here. Now, if we go into our camera again, here we go. You'll see that as you're moving this around, your Arnold focus distance is also doing the same thing, which just works lovely. So I hope that was really helpful. That's just a quick tip that I had buried in one of my other tutorials. So I hope you enjoy and that helps you out in one of your projects.